It was almost midnight in a small Texas town, and the streets outside were empty under the dim glow of streetlights. Inside the convenience store, Emily, a 23-year-old cashier, was counting the day's earnings. Her shift had been long but peaceful, and she was relieved it was almost over. In the corner of the parking lot, a few motorcycles stood silently. Their owners, a group of bikers, were still inside, drinking coffee in the back room after a long ride. Emily had seen them a few times before. Despite their rough appearance, they were polite, quiet, and always respectful. As she flipped the open sign to closed, the glass door swung open unexpectedly. Two men in dark hoodies entered, their faces shadowed and eyes cold. "We just missed closing time, huh?" one of them said with a smirk, tapping a small knife on the counter. Emily's stomach tightened. The other man locked the door behind them. The air grew heavy as she realized she was trapped. "Just hand over the cash, sweetheart," the taller one demanded. Her trembling fingers reached for the register, trying to stay calm. Unseen by the intruders, heavy footsteps stirred in the back room. The bikers had heard Emily's hand shook as she tried to open the register. The sound of the metal drawer jamming, making her heart race faster. "What's taking so long?" the taller thug growled, slamming his palm on the counter. She flinched, whispering, "It's stuck, please don't hurt me." The shorter one sneered, stepping closer until she could smell the alcohol on his breath. "You think we're playing games here?" he hissed. In the back room, Ryder, the leader of the biker group, froze mid-sentence. The sharp tone of a man's voice reached his ears, followed by Emily's frightened reply. He exchanged a quick look with his men. "Someone's messing with the girl," he muttered. Without hesitation, he motioned for two bikers to head toward the front while he moved through the side hallway. Inside, Emily tried again to open the drawer, her pulse pounding in her ears. One thug grabbed her arm roughly, yanking her forward. "You'll pay if you're lying," he said. She gasped, struggling to pull away. Suddenly, a deep voice echoed from behind the aisles. "Let her go." The men turned sharply. Emerging from the shadows, Ryder stepped forward, his leather jacket catching the light, his eyes cold and steady as the room fell silent. Everything. The two thugs froze when they saw Ryder standing there, his broad shoulders filling the narrow aisle. "Who the hell are you?" one of them snapped, trying to sound bold, though his voice trembled. Ryder took a slow step forward, his boots heavy against the tiled floor. "Someone who doesn't like cowards threatening women," he said evenly. Behind him, four other bikers appeared, tall, rough-looking men wearing black leather vests, with the emblem Iron Vows MC shining on their backs. Emily's eyes widened in disbelief. She'd seen them before, always polite and quiet customers, but now they looked like warriors out of a movie. The thug holding her smirked nervously. "Big talk, old man," he spat, swinging his knife. Ryder caught his wrist midair and twisted hard. A sharp cry filled the room as the knife clattered onto the floor. Another biker grabbed the second thug, pinning him against the shelves with one swift motion. Within moments, both men were on the ground, groaning in pain. Emily stood frozen, tears welling in her eyes, unable to speak. Ryder looked at her gently, his tone softening. "You're safe now, sweetheart." She nodded weakly, her hands still trembling, realizing the bikers had saved her life. When the police arrived, the two thugs were already subdued, sitting on the curb with bruised faces and hands zip-tied behind their backs. The flashing red and blue lights reflected off the chrome of the motorcycles lined up nearby. Emily stood near the entrance, wrapped in a blanket an officer had given her, still shaken but safe. Ryder leaned against his bike a few feet away, watching quietly as the officers took statements. One of the policemen nodded toward him. "You and your guys handled this fast," he said. Ryder shrugged, flicking ash from his cigarette. "Didn't have time to wait for sirens." The officer gave a small smile. "Well, good thing you didn't." Emily walked over, her voice soft. "I don't know how to thank you," she said, her eyes glistening. Ryder gave a faint smile. "You don't need to. Just lock your doors sooner next time." She laughed shakily, wiping her tears. As the police cars pulled away, the bikers prepared to leave, engines rumbling to life. "You're heroes," Emily called after them. Ryder looked back, his expression calm. Nah, just neighbors who stick around. With that, they rode off into the quiet Texas night, leaving her safe and deeply grateful.